Glenys, with the feedback that we got from the group with the recent survey, another big thing that I noticed was people asking questions around confidence with horse riding and with teaching. Is there any obvious signs you can think of where you can tell that a student's lost their confidence with their riding?
Sure. The first thing is the really obvious one. They'll tell you. Okay, they'll tell you that they're scared. They'll tell you that they've lost confidence. They'll tell you, I haven't been riding because of this. Okay, they might tell you, I haven't been riding, and make up a lot of excuses, but you can tell their confidence. Okay, or lost confidence. The other thing is there's the body language will tell you. You know, as they move around the horse, as they get on, they're scared. They might go into a fetal position. You know, lean forward, heels up.
A little bit timid type body language. Yes,
very much so. Yeah, and they'll do other things like their breathing will be different, their expression will be different. They may also get aggressive. Okay, more aggressive because they've lost confidence, so they think they've got to stand over their horse, but they're doing it in an aggressive, unbalanced way that's going to upset the horse, not assertive, but aggressive.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. It's not productive at all. Yeah,
not at all. Okay. Yeah. So that makes a vicious cycle. You know, of course, they get worried and scared and timid, and the horse gets upset, and then they don't know how to handle it. It just gets into a big cycle, so it can be a big problem.
Okay, makes good sense. With this loss of confidence, do you find there's any main reasons why you see people or students really losing their confidence with their riding?
Most of the time, it's because the horse is giving them a fright. Okay, whether or not they've been put on a horse that is too much for them. And too much for them doesn't mean a small person on a big horse. It can be a big person on a small horse, but the horse has got too much energy, not enough training to cope with what the person's ready for. It could be that they might have been quite a confident rider. And I know I've gone through that myself, that I used to ride and compete, and after 20 years decided to come back to jumping. So I certainly wasn't as confident 6 months ago when I first started to compete as what I am now. The time out of the saddle, it's a very big thing, you know. The same thing, newcomers, people who are just starting can have those problems. And another problem can be sometimes they might have partners or parents that push them too much, and instructors, you know, that push them too much, and they just feel like, whoa, this is too much for what I can cope with. So being in those situations where they're really stepping out of what they're comfortable with, and that can lead to loss of confidence.
Yeah, it makes me think about when I was a child growing up riding Australian stock horses. I had a fall while chasing cattle and really lost my confidence. It just sort of took time to get back there.
That's another thing. And not only a fall, it can be a fall that makes you lose confidence, but a near fall.
That fright.
Will dwell on and think, gee, I could have fallen off, I could have broken my arm, I could have done whatever. Yeah.
Okay, no, good point. So we were just talking a minute ago about me when I was a child, and I had the fall off the stock horse when chasing cattle, and I know at the time I was told get straight back on the horse, but now I sort of read different things about it's not always the best way. What's your thoughts about that?
It's not always the best way. There's lots of things. You've got to think, why did you fall off? You know, if the horse just had a bit of a trip and stumble and you just sort of fell off a bit to the side, landed on your feet, you know, that might be one thing, but gee, if the horse has misbehaved and then you've had a fall, if you get straight back on the horse, what's going to happen if the horse misbehaves again? You'll lose your confidence again. Okay?
Yeah, I see.
The other thing is there's medical reasons. You know, if you've been knocked out, if you've hit your head, even without unconsciousness, got some sort of concussion, if you're not actually a doctor with all the medical equipment standing by, how do you know that someone hasn't had a medical problem that then, you know, they can go on and make it worse? And another thing probably is the helmet. You know, sometimes you have a helmet, your helmet hits a tree or hits the ground.
Are you thinking like hairline cracks or whatever?
Yes, within the helmet. Okay.
So are you thinking at times it's better to be safe than sorry rather than as far as you're always on that cautious side?
Yes. Well, I think I'm always on the side of the rider. I want them to ride. I want to encourage people to ride.
And we want them to enjoy it too, don't we?
Exactly. And I don't want them to feel that they're not encouraged, that they're not supported, that there's going to be further problems. But another way, you know, because getting back on the horse often, it used to be if someone rode and they had to get back on a horse, it's to get over the fear. I think a lot can be done there with visualisation to get them over the fear. You know, visualising, getting back on the horse, and you know, the whole visualisation process we can cover in another video. But I think that's a really good tool if someone's lost their confidence.
Yeah, I've never heard that before. Okay, very good. So building on that, other than visualization, if someone's had a bad experience, as an instructor, how can we as instructors help people to get their confidence back, our students?
Okay, that's a good question, because the first thing the instructor needs to know is what caused the problem.
Okay.
All right? And being an intuitive instructor, remembering that comes with experience, you need to know what caused the problem. Was it the horse? And if it was the horse, does the horse need to be retrained? Do you need to spend time with the horse? Does that student need another horse? Okay. If it's time out of the saddle, sometimes they just need to have a few different quiet, easy times in the saddle to remember how, oh no, I've done that. Remember how much you've enjoyed the riding, and with me it was the jumping, that I remembered it, and that built my confidence up very, very quickly. You know, not being pushed outside my comfort zone, but just within my comfort zone. Then all of a sudden I went, oh wow, I need to go competing again and jumping and riding and
because you really wanted it.
Exactly. I remembered how much fun it was.
Yeah, that was your motivation.
Absolutely.
To get back there.
Yep. Another thing is too, if people are being pushed by parents and partners and things, you can speak to the parents and partners, but really the challenge is with the rider. The rider needs to think, why do they want to ride? Set some long-term goals, set some baby steps, and go through that whole goal setting process that again is covered in another video and in another lesson, but using that as part of the regaining confidence process is a great one.
Okay, brilliant, thanks. For beginner riders, what's the best way for people to learn to ride in a confident manner?
Okay, the first thing they need is the tool. The tool needs to be safe and secure, and the riding tool is the horse. The horse needs to be an established schoolmaster, one that's got experience, preferably teaching beginners, but an established horse that can walk, trot, canter, do whatever they want to do, and they've done it quietly and confidently. Okay, that's the first thing. The next thing is safe surroundings. The surroundings have to be safe, enclosed, you know, just in case the horse did go for a little bit of a jog or a bit of a canter, they need to be able to stop the horse or have it in an enclosed area. But the main thing would be to be under the guise of an instructor. Okay, so the instructor knows and can recognise a well-trained horse, and horses are like people, you know, they're not perfect, but if the horse is having a bit of an off day, what they can do about it, to recognise that the facilities, the arena's safe, and they have the knowledge to produce and build their riding step by step to build up their confidence rather than pushing them outside their confidence zone and losing their confidence.
Okay, yeah, that makes good sense. What about a young rider? They've got to a certain skill set. Say, for example, they're confident with trotting, but they don't want to move on to that cantering. There's that reluctance there. Do you push the student in that case, or what's your thoughts?
You don't push the student in as much. You don't say, right, today we're going to canter, and that's it. You can't come for another lesson unless you canter today. But what you do is you build up a few baby steps. First of all, you've got to recognise why they're scared, why they're not confident, and it may be a bit difficult to determine, but if you know that they're happy to do the trot but not the canter, you can do little exercises like lengthen and shorten the trot, lengthen and shorten the trot, lengthen and shorten the trot. And especially if you've got a horse that's a good school horse that's maybe a little lazy, that as they lengthen they might just pop into 1 or 2 strides canter and then return to the trot again.
Oh, okay? Right, yeah, so subtly introducing it. Yeah.
And then just 1 or 2 strides. You know, it doesn't have to be canter after canter after canter. So
because on the horse you can definitely feel the difference. Yeah. And think, oh, that was okay. That was all right. Yeah.
Another really good one to introduce canter is to have a couple of trot poles, but raise them just, you know, that tiny little bit, okay, but then make it every second stride, so that instead of the horse putting in 2 strides every second one, you actually put in and make it a canter distance, so the horse finds it comfortable to then just pop over one and pop over another and then just trot away. So that encourages the horse to go into canter.
Oh, right, okay. Yeah.
So just another little trick, but the main thing is it's got to be baby steps. You can't just say, right, this is it, we're going to canter. You just need to keep building the confidence in your student until they're confident to canter. Put in 1 or 2 strides and really make a big deal of it. Wasn't that fantastic? You know, really make a big deal.
That positive affirmation.
Exactly.
What about now if we talk, instead of about the student, about the individual who aspires to be the instructor? What about if they're not confident with their teaching? What strategies you can put in place So that, to overcome
There's
that.
usually three things. Well, there's a couple of reasons. It could be that they have lack of experience. Lack of experience because they've never got out and they've never taught. Okay, so to all of a sudden being in a teaching role rather than a student role can be a bit confronting. Okay, lack of experience, not lack of experience, lack of knowledge. So do they really know the stuff that they need to be teaching? And if they don't know the stuff they need to be teaching, really they need to learn it. Okay, and the best thing themselves is to have lessons. They also, the third thing might be that they've gone out, done a little bit of teaching and had a bad experience. Now the bad experience might be that they've been confronted with someone and not had the correct communication skills, and they found that a bit confronting. So those type of people, it's probably a good idea to go into a situation where they're in a instructor training friendly environment, where the communication is taught, where there's a senior instructor that's overlooking the things and is able to build on their confidence. Again, baby steps, okay, building it up. Another thing is they've got to know what is it that they want to achieve? Why do they want to teach? Do they want to have a career with horses? Do they want to teach? And look towards making a goal, making a plan, having all those little baby steps that their senior instructor will support them with, and then again the visualisation. The visualisation about going out, teaching in front of large crowds, teaching experienced riders, teaching competition riders, and what is it that they really want.
Excellent, thank you.